So what are the secret herbs and spices that go into a chow with lao southern fried chicken? Well, stick around folks and you might just find out. Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Chow with Lao, and in this show we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm always asking for recommendations for recipes, and people have been asking for recipes other than Chinese food. So the most popular one of those is southern fried chicken. So we're doing this today. Check it out. And the beauty of this one is we're not going to use deep frying. We're going to do some frying, but it's not going to be deep frying. So it's going to be a little bit healthier and it's going to be a lot less hassle. Right, my little chow with flowers. For this recipe, I'm going to be using drumsticks and chicken thighs. You can also use chicken wings if you want. Now, in order to create that really crispy, crunchy coating, we're going to need plain flour and plenty of it, 400 grams to be precise. This may seem a lot, but stick around and I'll show you exactly why we need that much. We're also going to need 2 eggs to bind the coating to the chicken. And my secret blend of herbs and spices is 4 teaspoons of salt, 3 teaspoons of garlic powder, 3 teaspoons of ground white pepper, 3 teaspoons of paprika, and a good sprinkling of thyme. The eggs play a very important part in this recipe because it's the glue that's going to stick the crispy coating firmly to the chicken so it doesn't all fall off when we fry it, and it makes sure it traps all that lovely flavour into the coating so it all explodes in your mouth in a flavour sensation when we bite into it. To ensure that all the flavours get evenly distributed into the flour, we're going to put the flour into a sieve, and then we're going to add half our ingredients to the flour and then give it a good stir. So half the salt, half the garlic powder, half the pepper and half the paprika. Then we're going to give it a good stir to ensure that it starts to go all the way through the flour. And then we're going to put the rest of the salt, the rest of the garlic powder, the rest of the pepper and the rest of the paprika. Give it another good stir and then tap it through the sieve. This will help ensure that all the flavours get evenly distributed. We add the thyme at the end because it would get stuck in the sieve otherwise. So our next job is to place our pieces of chicken into our flavoured flour and make sure that it gets a nice covering of flour on every surface. The natural moisture from the chicken should ensure that some of it sticks on. And the advantage of double dipping like this is the fact that we're going to get 2 layers of flavour because you're going to get 2 layers of flour on the chicken. So you're going to get all the extra flavour, which is exactly what we want. So the floured chicken goes into the egg and then back into the flour, and then you give it another thorough coating with the flour and make sure that we're thoroughly coating it so that you can't see any egg anymore, and that will make sure that you get a really nice covering so it won't fall off in the fat and it will stay on and create that crispy coating. So it should look a little bit like this. Set aside and then continue until you've coated every piece of chicken. Right guys, we're on to the frying stage. Now at the beginning of this recipe I said there's no deep frying, and that is true. But the advantage of this recipe is you can use less oil, so there's less wastage. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's healthy because it isn't. It probably is a little bit because we're not letting this stand in hot oil for 15, maybe 20 minutes until the chicken gets done, because we're going to whip it out pretty quickly to go into the oven. The other advantage is if you're making a batch of this for your family, instead of standing over a deep fat fryer for literally an hour, maybe more, you can be free to do whatever you need to do during the 45 minutes it's going to be in the oven. So a much better, easier way of cooking this southern fried chicken and slightly healthier. So with my wooden chopstick, we're fizzing nicely away. As you can see, I'm using about 1 centimetre depth of oil, which isn't technically shallow frying, but it definitely isn't deep frying. And because we're not going to actually leave the chicken here for too long, that's good. That's definitely a good thing. As usual, be really careful when we're deep frying. I'm going to put it down skin side down, and I'm going to do Make sure as we put the chicken in to turn the oil up a little bit so that we don't take the edge off the temperature of the oil too much. We want that crisp. I'm going to do it 3 at a time. Let's try not to overwhelm our oil. Okay. And I'm going to fry it for about a minute on each side, just to set the crispy coating. So after about a minute, carefully turn your pieces of chicken over in the pan to make sure that the other side is also set and the crispy coating is going to be nice and even all over. Yeah, I tried, early days, I tried to do it without any frying whatsoever, and it doesn't, of course it doesn't work, but I didn't know that at the time, and I can tell you, so you don't have to do it. You don't have to go through the pain and the humiliation of trying to get something looking like it's deep fried and tasting like it's deep fried by totally not frying it, because trust me people, it don't work. So the next stage is we're going to remove the chicken from the fryer and we're going to put it into our baking pan, but most importantly we're going to put it onto a rack, a wire rack, because as it bakes the excess oil will drip through. I've tried it again by putting it directly onto the baking tray and the oil goes down and then it soaks into the batter and you get a soggy, oily, crispy coat. Well, it's not so crispy anymore. So we don't want to do that. So again, we're losing a bit of oil, which is great because it's a little bit of not being too unhealthy. I'm really stretching, I'm really digging here, but every little helps, doesn't it? Right guys, so that's what it looks like after the frying stage. Looks good enough to eat, doesn't it? Well, trust me, not yet. So it's going to go into the oven, gas mark 5, 190 degrees for 40-45 minutes, and then you're in for chicken heaven. Check this out, 45 minutes in the oven and this is what you get. Is it better than KFC? I'll let you know in a minute. Right people, it is the moment of truth. Is this better than the Colonel's? Oh my god, it's amazing. If you didn't know, you might have picked it up from the famous KFC. It's crunchy, it's crispy, it's got all those flavours. And it's still moist, and that's the most important thing. Absolutely wonderful. I'm going to have it with a bit of coleslaw, which is my favourite way. Really, really nice. And so much easier than trying to deep fry a whole bucket full of chicken, because that would take you so long. And you have to stand over the hob for about an hour. That is just too much effort, I think. Yep, I'm going to do this again. I suggest you do too. So guys, if you've liked what you've seen, please try this recipe and give me a comment below. And if you like it, give it a like and please subscribe to this channel. It really, really helps. So thank you once again for watching and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys, bye bye.